we're in a bear market and you have to find these rallies to short into. This all feels like a very squishy rally that is not going to really sustain. And so this is this market. This market is a bear market, and that these rallies, they look, and I think what happens is that for 15 years we've been conditioned on this bull market wave, and that every kind of pullback has been the time to really buy it. And it's really resisting that kind of biography that I even find difficult. But I think you have to understand we're in a bear market. So this is Moderna. This to me is the real pattern. Everything else is just, kind of noise where, yes, you do get run-ups, but you can see they never last. And then within, kind of the noise below here, you've just kind of broke. And now you've just been in this kind of, sideways to lower trading band for, since February. So 6 months, you've really been kind of very sideways. You really have had no movement. You're right in the middle of this, trading range. But I think that it will start to leak to the downside. It'll start to drift and retest and break.
I was looking at Win yesterday because I had a big old key reversal.
Just let me finish this.
Oh, sorry.
And then remind me, Jonathan, because I know you've said some things in the past, and then I go, I want to go back to, and then I forget. So I just want to finish while I'm on this. Is that within this trading band, to me, this is the governing pattern. So you have like a major top, then you have this interim top, and I don't think we're going to take that out. So you kind of have to use these rallies. They don't really give you an elegant way to get in. They close on the high and then they die. But in this case, we had, again, this is what it looks like in all of these stocks where you had 2 days of very benign, behavior where, what I say to myself here is that, okay, we had this rally, and then what happened? Well, the next day we couldn't make a new high. The next day we couldn't make a new high. So, what it's saying to me is that, the rally or the attempted rally here is stalling, running out of steam. And I always use that metaphor of that, that plane, in an airplane show, goes straight up in the air, and then you hear the engine cutting out, and then it just kind of falls back down to, to planet Earth. And so this is what this feels like, is that, kind of goes up, and then now it's just starting to run out of energy, and, could quickly go the other way. And again, what I look for is some kind of spatial thing where you kind of build enough space so that you can then fall. And I don't know if we've just got another day where it's a hangout day where nothing really happens, but we kind of, keep drifting lower, and then it just, opens. But I think that you kind of, have to be somewhat forward looking and see what's going on in the bigger picture, and understand that, this rally, when it gets here, it kind of just fades very quickly. So this is kind of giving you 2 days to kind of get in here before it rolls again. So this is what it feels like in all of these stocks, that the rallies are just very kind of benign and not sustainable, not really going to go anywhere. So you kind of have to, build your positions into strength. So if you want to sell, build into strength before it kind of falls. It's very hard to then, chase, and then you get short on the lows down here, and then they give you another short covering rally. You get short here, and then this is what's been happening. So, you kind of got to use the rallies to start establishing these positions, rather than, chasing the lows. So that's kind of my thought theme for the day. Let's take a look at Win. And I think, again, it's probably all of these stocks just look pretty much the same. They've stalled out, they're rallying, but they can't really go anywhere. So yeah, this is a good example, Jonathan, and thanks for bringing it up, where the market throws you patterns. And so typically if I saw something like this, makes a new low, close on the high, makes a new low, close on the high, you kind of have this area. And I'd say, wow, just in a vacuum, this is where I start loading up the boat. But here's the thing, and this is why I really, advise looking at, much bigger time frames, because it's important to know the cards you're holding. If you've got a chart that just really shows you this, on a 15-minute chart, maybe it starts looking like a bottom, maybe it starts looking like something, but if you put it in the wider context, this to me is the guiding pattern. Yes, you'll get all kinds of double bottoms here, and yes, you'll get cute little rallies and what have you, but this to me tells me the story that it's basically all over, and that on balance, we're going to keep going lower. And what I would also say is that when you have what you think is a bottom, you can see that the characteristic here is actually lower highs. What you want with a bottom is you want to see a characteristic of higher lows and higher highs. And here you've got lower highs. So this would have to, seriously come above certain levels to start saying, okay, we're going to make higher highs. It would have to probably come above, 75 or something, start breaking out of this, what looks like to be a substantial downtrend. So this is the other thing, patterns will suck you in, but then you have to kind of look at the context. Are you a cadence of, lower highs or higher highs? And if it's a bottom, you want to see a cadence of higher highs and higher lows. So this is a great example of how markets form patterns. And, if you went to a textbook or, anything, you'd say, well, Mark, this is a double bottom. Well, it is, but, the market needs to kind of confirm it. And if it, keeps leaking, now it's going to invalidate that pattern. And so I suspect that's what it will do. I mean, this is kind of a more complicated one where you've got this, huge kind of support trading range. So it might have to knock around and bang around some more. And, it's probably going to be difficult to cough up this support, but I think eventually it does. This just could be, just a bit more of a struggling here, fighting these reversals, could take some time. And so, that's what I kind of look at. It's kind of an instinct where how mature is that? How is something really ready to go? How do I see this weekly bar closing? So, a lot kind of goes into it, just in instinct, but it all starts off with, a basic premise where globally, this thing is over. Here's your pattern so that that these are nonsense. So, to me, it's not a question of if, but when this thing, fails and, keeps going to a lower level. But, again, just validates that I think that we're in a bear market and you have to find these rallies to short into.
So you can see, 45 is 1.3 million.
$1.3 million short.
So pop out a profit for 118,000 there.
So you can see how this is going crazy now. You can see how the market just going nuts.
I bet like $1.6 million on this position. I'm showing right now $23,000 gain.